Hello, everyone. News Channel 3, Chief Meteorologist Keith Thompson here with a Facebook and YouTube live update. Hope everybody's evening is going well. Got 9:04 on the clock, so we'll get this moving. More action. You know, we spent so much of December and first, week and a half or so of January, very quiet. There wasn't a lot going on. Well, that has changed quite a bit. And so we continue with our rather active weather pattern. I do think that next week we'll get into a little bit more of a quiet weather pattern, sort of one like we had leading up to last, Friday, which is when the bottom fell out. Paige, hello to you. Thanks for checking in. Kathy, Sturgis, represent. Thank you so much. I see the eyeball starting to pop up, so the numbers are going up. So that's good. We'll get this thing moving once we get some folks in here. Jerry, always good to see you. Thanks so much. I'm going to sort of minimize myself just a little bit in just a moment. Melissa, hello to you. Gwen, it's always good to see you. Thank you for being here. And I appreciate it. I hope you're having a good evening as well. Hey, we're almost to Friday, right? We're almost to Friday. So that certainly is a good thing. Yvonne, you want some snow? I mean, some sun. I'm sorry, some sun. I think over the weekend we'll get some sun. I think over the weekend we'll start to see some sun. Takancha in the house. Dennis, thank you for the thank you. I appreciate that. Brad, Union City, tomorrow, some snow in the morning. Snow in the morning. Wouldn't be surprised if we get a couple of inches of accumulation. Jessica, hello to you. Elizabeth, will schools be closed? I don't think so. I don't think so. They burned a lot of days earlier this week and then last Friday. So I don't think so. Shannon, good evening. Felt nice. It didn't feel nice outside today. I got to tell you, I went outside. For example, I went outside before I put my coat on, and I didn't park in the garage. And so I had to sort of make sure the windshield wipers weren't stuck to the windshield, right? And I didn't put on the heavy coat or anything. And I thought, it doesn't feel too bad out here, even though I think it was about 22 degrees. But it's all relative, right? It's all relative. Karen, good evening to you. Linda, hello. Tracy, hello. And Dawn and Takancha, is winter over yet? Oh, girl, we are just getting started. All right, I got a couple of hundred people in the room, so let's get moving. You see what's on the agenda here. I'm going to minimize myself just a little bit so we can bring up what's important. And that's what's on the screen. Tricky morning travel possible. I put a question mark there. I don't ever want us to let our guard down in a situation like this. Ben heading to New Buffalo tomorrow afternoon. Yeah, you're going to need to be careful. But I don't think it'll be as bad in the afternoon as it would have been if you left, in the morning. However, you are right. You want to monitor that snow band. Forgot about that. That's going to be cooking. So you might be right on the edge of it, or you might be right in the middle of it, depending on where it is. I'll get to that coming up in just a few moments. That's the big snow nearby that you see that's on the rundown as well. In the meantime, it will be getting warmer next week. It will be getting warmer next week. So let's get right to it here. We're going to start off with our bus stop forecast. And again, thanks to everybody who's here. Appreciate it. Mike, happy Thursday to you. You got 3 inches in North Muskegon again today. Sheila, you guys got to be almost buried there now with all that coming in. Portage checking in. Next week's weather will feel like we're in Florida. You're right, Gail. That's for sure. Sarah, it wasn't a bad day today at all. If we could just get a little more sunshine, that would be even better. G. Lynn, not again. I think you're thinking about snow, right? Well, let's talk about it. It's not going to be as traumatic as what we've had lately. That's for sure. Well, the bus stop forecast, they're going to be going off to school at about 15 degrees with snow showers. Now, remember, just a couple of days ago, 15 degrees sounded awfully nice. It is cold, but here's another key that's really important. It's not going to be that windy. Starting with the storm moving in on Thursday, and then Friday, of course, we got walloped with that storm. And then Saturday, Sunday, Monday, even into Tuesday was that Arctic outbreak, and we were still under the influence of that upper low. And that kept the winds churning. And so now the winds have died down just a little bit. So we don't have to deal as much with the winds, which I think is a good idea, or is a good deal. Taylor, I think overall, no. Not enough. But there might be some isolated spots, that could pick up 3 inches. Not going to rule that out. Let's see. Marion, hello to you. Thanks for being here. Appreciate it. Laura's in Battle Creek. Thank you so much. Lorna in Ashtamo. Always appreciate seeing you here. Bill, hello. Keith and Melissa, good evening to you. Not good for moving in. Oh, winter is typically not good for any kind of outdoor stuff, right? Mel, hello to you in Kalamazoo. Thanks very much, Marjorie. I appreciate that. Diana in Battle Creek, and John. Hey, Manastee's in the house. 16 degrees and 14 inches of snow. Connie, hello to you, and hello to Wyatt, Ryan, and Jackson. Shoveled snow off your driveway. You forgot mine. Just kidding. It's a bit of a drive, right, to just do my driveway, but I would appreciate it. I'm totally kidding. Ashley, good evening to you. Also in Jackson, and Kendra. Is it up in the air for school cancellations? I don't think it is. I would say study for that test tomorrow. Study for that test tomorrow. All right, there's the off to school at 15 degrees, snow showers. But in the afternoon, I think it'll be fairly quiet. I'll show you in the hour by hour coming up that it looks like the snow that we're looking for is going to be falling overnight. And I think it will be ill-timed, if you will, for the morning commute tomorrow. Do I think it's going to be widespread havoc and chaos? I don't think so. But we always want to keep our guard up in a situation like this. You know that. You know, if you've been here, you know the drill. Always keep your guard up. And heading home, I think just cloudy skies, but it will be colder tomorrow than today as we have some more colder air that's moving in, specifically for your driving forecast for this evening and really up to midnight or a little bit afterward. I think we can go green light. There's not a lot going on, but overnight and through the morning commute tomorrow, through the yellow lights up there, just to use some caution. And then I think in the afternoon, things are going to be improving. There's one caveat, and Ben brought this up a little bit ago. If you are headed west, and I'll show you this in more detail coming up, but if you're headed west tomorrow on I-94 or on I-80, whether you be going to Chicago or whether you be going any points west, whether it be Illinois or Iowa or wherever, you're going to probably encounter a pretty heavy-duty snow band that's going to be setting up. I'm going to talk a little bit more about that coming up in just a few moments. So first, let's hit our advisories as they stand right now. Ice fishing finally, but don't forget, auger or drill just to make sure you know how much ice you're on. I know if you're an ice fisher, you already know that, but please make sure to be safe out there because, you know, the early stages of the ice, just like the late stages of the ice in the spring, are so dangerous if you're not careful. Side roads still icy, Trish, you're right. And keep that in mind. The main roads may be good, but the side roads are still a little bit dicey and icy. Carla in West Portage, hello. Deb, thanks for the thanks. Ashley, do I think the roads will be bad in the morning? Bad is a relative term. I think overall, no, but there could be some slick spots, especially on those side roads. Larry in BC, thanks for being here. John from Marcellus in the house, the metropolis of Marcellus and Cassopolis. Autumn, thanks for being here. I appreciate it. Let's see, what do we got? Jeanette, it is cold in the house. Turn that heater up if you can. Chris in Chicago under a winter weather advisory tonight and tomorrow. Same thing that we've got going on. In fact, on the map, you can see it. On the other side of the lake there, right? Cook County, you are under that winter weather advisory. Here's why: 2 to 4 inches of snow possible. But notice that advisory is mainly I-94 south. In fact, it is the I-94 corridor, if you will, south. Once you get up into Allegan County, Berry County, Eaton County, certainly northward to GR and Holland and Muskegon and Ionia, North Muskegon, up around I-96, I-196, you're not looking at too much in the way of problems there because this snow is mainly going to be points south. You see, we got 2 to 4 inches of snow. I think the 4 is going to be isolated on the outside. I think it's going to be closer to 2 with maybe a couple of 3-inch spots. And you know, that timed for the morning commute could cause some icy spots and some slick areas out there. The good news here is I don't think that we're going to be dealing with a lot of wind. You know, that's what compounded our problems over the last few days so much. It's not just that we were dealing with snow, but it was that blowing snow that was really a mess. Tomorrow we're looking at north winds at about 10 to 15. So we don't have those gusts to 30 or gusts to 40 like we had last Thursday, last Friday when we got hit with that storm, last Saturday, last Sunday, last Monday, day before yesterday. Those winds have finally come down, and I think that's going to give us a little bit of relief. That said, you see what I have there on the travel impacts. Slick spots are possible. Now, you might have noticed on that map, let me see if I can go back to it. You might have noticed on that map that Berrien County there in the southwest corner of the lower, right? In the southwest corner of the mitten there is sort of obviously left out. And here's why. Because there is a winter storm warning that will go into effect at 10 o'clock. So it's in 45 minutes for Berrien County. And that stretches right on down into northwest Indiana. We're talking about LaPorte County. We're talking about Stark County. So that's why I say if you're traveling west tomorrow or Saturday, be advised, I-80 or I-94, you're going to be dealing with this snow band that I'm going to show you in just a few moments. They're going to be in the middle of this snow band that's going to be setting up. There are going to be sometimes, at times, there could be snowfall rates of 2 to 3 inches per hour. I mean, that is heavy duty. I don't think there's going to be a lot of wind associated with it, but that in itself is going to cause visibility issues, and that will start to collect on the highways pretty fast. So there will be some travel impacts, I think, with some snow-covered roads. I don't think that eastern edge of that snow band, of that lake effect snow band, is going to make it, let's say, as far as even Benton Harbor or St. Joe, or let's say, I think Stevensville's around exit 27, something like that. But I do think if you're around New Buffalo, around exit 14, if you're around Bridgman, if you're around Buchanan, certainly if you're around Michigan City, if you're there at the state line, yeah, I think you're going to be in it. And obviously, if you're going to go down there into northern Indiana, there, for example, around Gary and Hammond, if you're going to be in that vicinity, you're probably going to be dealing. In fact, you're almost assuredly going to be dealing with that snow. Now, let's go hour by hour, and you'll see it set up. Okay, you'll see it set up. We start the clock at the current time, and we start to roll forward. By midnight, we start to see a little of this snow, especially starting to creep in from the south. Looking at you, Dowagiac, Three Rivers, Sturgis, Marcellus, Cassopolis. Thanks for watching Cass County. I appreciate it very much. Right on into Branch County around Coldwater. We're talking US 12. Now we go to 7 o'clock in the morning. This is sort of going to be cycling right on through. I'm not saying there's no snow north of I-94. There will be, as you can see on the hour by hour. But I think the biggest chance for accumulating snow is going to be I-94 south. And here's what I want you to see. Between 7 a.m. and noon, the snow vanishes. It goes, well, it doesn't vanish. It moves off to the east. So it's not going to be around long, but it will be timed out, I think, to where we're going to be dealing with it for the morning commute. That's why I threw it the yellow light for the morning commute tomorrow. I want you to be careful out there for sure. Hallie, can I just turn that weather dial to spring? I tried it, and you know what? The dial came right off in my hand. So I think it's broken. Hello, Bangor in the house. Tina, thanks so much. Mike, I do not think that this is the last snowstorm for sure. Oh, Stevensville, thanks, Chris. And you would know, exit 23. I'm sorry, it's 27 Pipestone Road. I can't remember. But Chris is our resident MDOT orange truck driver. So listen, he knows all the exits. And Chris, thanks for correcting me on that. So Stevensville, I still think is going to be maybe borderline. I think you're going to have to get down to around New Buffalo before you see that. But hey, we don't want to cut it that close. Janet, thank goodness for the warmer temps next week for sure. Rose, checking in from our Billings, Montana Bureau, Big Sky Country. Highway is clear in Billings, and you got about 3 inches of snow last night. Well, Rose, welcome to our winter story, right? And so we share that. We share that in common for sure. And thanks for checking in. I appreciate it. 2 time zones away, if I'm not mistaken, right? Mountain time zone there. Janet and Waylon, hello to you. Oh, Niles Avenue is exit 27. Okay, that's the Lake Michigan College exit. I know that. So, Chris, thanks. Thanks for giving me the update or the correction on that. Hudsonville, Amber, always good to see you here. I appreciate it. Leslie, Kalamazoo County, yeah, there'll be some snow. Let me get right to it. I want to move on to this snow band that we have here. Your dogs have spent more time today than the last 6 days, and they say hello from Ceresco. Jeff, hello to your pooches there, and I'm sure that they're happy to get outside as well and enjoy some of that outdoor air, and they don't have to worry about their paws literally freezing as much anyway, right? Watch this snow band as I go forward here. We're at noon, and notice that band. Here's what's happening. There's not a name for this, but I'm going to call it the Buffalo effect. If you want to know why Buffalo and Rochester, New York, and Syracuse and Watertown and Erie, PA are renowned for those giant lake effect snows, where here in West Michigan, we've got our lake effect snow, but not like that. It's because Buffalo, for example, Rochester, Syracuse, they are on the eastern edge of long west-east lakes, Lake Erie, Lake Ontario. And so that cold air, as it moves, if it happens to move in such a trajectory that cold air is traveling over that body of water for a long period of time, a lot of distance, then it's going to be much stronger once it starts to dump that snow. There's going to be a lot more moisture in it. Our lake, Lake Michigan, is, as you can see on the map, oriented mainly north-south. So it doesn't, the air as it travels across the lake, it's not having to go, it doesn't go as far. And so it's not as strong. Now, when you've got that north wind, as you can see that band, I'm pointing at because it's on my computer screen. When you get that north band, Chris, I am missing all my exits, right? That's the Napier exit on exit 30. I'm going to stop. I'm going to stick to the weather. You do the roads for me. You do the exits, and I'll stick to the weather. How about that? When you get that long fetch, that north wind that's coming down the entire length of Lake Michigan with just the right setup with moisture, and you've got the inversion layer that's going to be a little bit higher. It's going to be up, so it's going to allow for more lift. And you've got a warmer lake. I mean, these are all the ingredients for a very strong snow band, and that's what you see setting up on the hour by hour. Now, I'm going to run this forward. Oh, I'll let my computer go to sleep over here, so hold on just a moment. Let's see if I can. It might have to There we go. I'm going to have to sort of reset it here. But you see that long band? I want you to notice what happens as we go through time. You're going to see that that band does not move very much, and you're going to see it just looks like a garden hose, or really a fire hose, that is just going to be funneling that snow right on down into northern Indiana at first. And then eventually it's going to drift just a little bit more to the east, and that's going to start to impact Berrien County. So here we go. Let me see if it'll let me. Here we go. All right. There we go. Now you can see what I mean. Just look at that. How did you see how that was sort of focused? And it does dance around a little bit. But really from about, Stevensville southward, let's say, New Buffalo, on around the bottom of the lake there, all the way over to, let's say, the southern suburbs of Chicago, southeastern suburbs of Chicago. That's where I think that you might, that's where you're probably going to be in it. Now, by the way, even though there's not a lot of wind with this, there'll be enough to push it farther south than that too. So this is going to go down into Indiana a little ways. And that's why you see that winter storm warning for Berrien County, which a warning, by the way, is there's high confidence that there will be a minimum of 6 inches of snow over a 24-hour period. And I think that there's going to be a lot more than that. Now, by Saturday morning, that band starts to break down because the winds are going to start to shift. And we're going to see a little of that lake effect snow on Saturday morning kicking on into West Michigan. There you can see it set up. Sturgis, looks like you're under it Saturday in the morning to around noon. Paw Paw, you definitely are. South Haven, you are. Watervliet, you are. Decatur, Lawrence, Lawton. So that's something to keep in mind. It's not going to be dumping as much, and the reason why, it's not going to be around as long. Watch, by 6 o'clock Saturday evening, it goes away. It goes away. Ben, you're right. I-94 and I-80. I want to add that too. I-94 in Berrien County and I-80 down there in northern Indiana. Once you get west of South Bend, let's say, you need to avoid that if you can. If you can't, then I would say download a weather app. I recommend ours so that you can know when you're about to hit it. And boy, you better have some patience. Have some patience, okay? Drive safe. Remember, it's important to get there. That's more important that you get there safely than what time you get there. Ski resorts have loved this weather lately, that's for sure, Graham. Cass County, I'm going to get a couple of inches, I think, out of this, maybe 3. And then I don't think you're going to get anything on Friday afternoon and evening. But I do think Saturday you might start to see a little bit of lake effect snow kicking in. How much snow? Well, tonight we're not really going to be picking up any, but by tomorrow morning, close to 7, notice I-94 south about 1 inch, Coldwater, Sturgis, maybe 1.5 inches. I mean, this forecast model here as we go through Friday, like I said, is not as convincing on some of the heavier totals. So I think, 2 inches, maybe a little bit more by tomorrow evening. And if it does stay at that level, I just don't think it's not going to be impactful because of the amount of snow, but it's the timing that I do think could be a problem. But I think it's mainly going to be an issue in the morning. Allegan, similar story there, Hallie. Maybe 1 inch, maybe a couple of inches, but I don't think it's going to be, too impactful. Coldwater to Chicago Saturday afternoon. You're going to be probably, dealing with some lake effect snow. No matter whether you go down to I-80 and go over, I think you're going to hit it, or if you go up to I-94, I'm thinking you probably go down 69 to 80 and go over. You're probably going to hit it there. Okay, thanks. Listen, I will check on that, Jen, and I appreciate it, and I'll do my best to come out to Marshall to give you guys a visit, for real. And thanks for being patient with me on that. I appreciate it very much. Barb, hello to you. Jojo, Berry County, a couple of inches possible in the morning, and then I think it's going to be fairly quiet. You're not going to be dealing with lake effect on this band that I think is going to be setting up on Saturday. You're going to be out of the zone. So that's what we're looking at. Gary, even my computer is tired of the cold. You'd think so, right? So let's move on to the live Doppler radar. Right now, we just have a little bit of snow that's going on, but there's nothing impactful out there right now. Nothing that's really going on. Melody, hello to you. Yeah, I do think, you know what, Ben, I do. I think we might even have some freezing rain, tricky freezing rain there Tuesday morning before we see things change over to rain. So I think next week we could have some trickiness. We haven't really had to deal with any freezing rain, and I don't think there'll be a lot of it, but right now it's a little too early to tell. This is Thursday. We're looking ahead to next Tuesday morning. We could have some more issues for the morning commute Tuesday. I don't expect anything Monday, but I do think Tuesday that we could have some issues with the morning commute. So that's something to keep in the back of your mind there. And Ben, thanks for reminding me on that as well. Mike, I appreciate that, and I appreciate the compliment very much too. Kelly, 94 tomorrow morning. you're going to be dealing with some snow. There could be some slick spots. I don't think it's going to be horrible. I'll tell you that. The same story for Kalamazoo in general, Debbie. So I don't think it's going to be too bad. Snow plowing people, you got what you wanted. You got what you wanted. And, we're not done. We're not done yet, though I do, as I said yesterday, I think we're going to return to our regularly scheduled El Nino programming, which means I think that we are going to go back to being a little bit warmer and certainly quieter as we hit next week. I'm taking a look here at a longer range. Sorry about that. I don't see any more blasts of very cold air. Once we get past, what's the 21st is going to be Sunday. It's going to be cold this weekend, by the way. It's going to be cold. Not as cold as what we just got out of, but still really cold. In fact, I think Saturday morning we could be at or below zero a little bit. It's not going to be as brutally cold. It's not going to be a windy. Again, I think that's one thing that's just going to be nicer about the next few days is that we're not going to have to deal with that wind, which was just so persistent and just made things even worse. It made the wind chill so much colder, and of course, it blew the snow around. I don't think we're going to have as much of that over the next few days. Next week, we are going to be warming up, and once I think we get to that warming trend there, I think it looks like to me, unless things change, which they can. Remember, once we go past 7-8 days, in my opinion anyway, it's like you better continue to check back in for sure. I mean, I would even say that with 2 or 3 days. But certainly once you get out past 7 days, everything gets so speculative. I don't see anything all the way to about the last day or two of the month, So I think we're going to be warming up again next week for sure. Clients heading to Chicago for Saturday morning flight. You're going to have to deal. You're going to almost assuredly, you're going to connect with that lake effect snow band Saturday morning. Where is it going to be? Is it going to be in Western Berrien County, or is it going to be further to the west, closer to Michigan City, Indiana, or closer to Hammond or Gary? It's going to be somewhere in there. That's why I say download a weather app. I recommend ours and check it on the radar, and so that you can maybe navigate it a little bit better when you know what you're going to get into and know how long it's going to be around. Candy, good to see you. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it. Thursday. If you're talking about next Thursday, not bad. Not bad. I think we could see a little rain, but we're looking for a high up around 40. Oh, let me get to it. There's the feels like temperature. Let's get to, that's what everybody wants to know about anyway, right? This computer did it again on me. The 7-day forecast will show you that we're going to be seeing those temperatures get up to close to 40 degrees next week. And so I'll get to that here in just a sec. Notice the wind chills right now in the single digits for some folks: Allegan, Hastings, Teens, and Battle Creek and Grand Rapids, South Haven, Marshall, Three Rivers. We got some 20s. That's cold, but cold has been redefined based on what we've had earlier this week, right? So let's take a look at the 7-day. Let me show you what's coming up. And here it is. We're warming up big time next week. I do think we could have a wintry mix Monday night late, but especially Tuesday morning for the commute. Like I said, that's a bug to put in your ear, and we'll revisit that tomorrow, Friday night, but again, also next Monday too. Thanks, Lynn. I know that you've got in North Muskegon, you got more snow than you can handle. And you know what? You can ship it here, but I think it'll probably melt before you get here. But I appreciate the gift. Thank you so much. St. Joe in the house. How many days until spring? I think we're in the neighborhood of 60-ish or something like that. Chris, you were able to catch a glimpse of the ice shelf today. Remember, folks, if you go out there to look on the lake, don't walk out on that ice. Rain better than snow, Ryan. You might get some folks arguing with you about that. Good point, Ben. I do think next week when we start to see some melting, what we could see are some ice dams that form. Or ice jams, on the river. Not ice dams, that's in your gutter. Ice jams forming on the river. And that could create some flooding. So we're going to have to wait and see how that goes. So that's a good point, Ben. We'll probably be on flood watch, not the national. I mean, we're going to be looking at the potential for flooding next week. Armani, yes, some snow tonight and overnight, especially closer to I-94 South, maybe a couple of inches. And I think snowing during the morning commute tomorrow. I don't think it's going to be awful. But Len, awful there in North Muskegon. You've had more snow today. And if it means anything, I think as the winds shift a bit, hopefully it'll take a little of that attention away from you there in North Muskegon. Headed to Grand Rapids on Saturday. I think you're going to be all right, Ron. I think you should be all right. Should be good to go. Pearson, hello. Pearson in the house. I appreciate that very much. Shenis Joe? Sinestro. I hope I got it right. I'm sorry. I hope I didn't butcher it too badly. But I appreciate you being here. I'm going to skate on out of here. You got a gander there at the 7-day. I want to remind you, we're not out of the cold woods just yet. I mean, again, Sunday, which, by the way, Saturday evening before sunset, obviously, and then Sunday, I think, are our best chances for seeing some snow. And then another system, the one that's helping to bring in the warmer air, is going to bring more clouds. Hey, this is the season for what we call the permacloud. And 'tis the season, right? So we have more clouds ahead. Hastings, some snow, yeah, maybe an inch or two, maybe, Dan. I don't think it's going to be a heck of a lot. Hannah, I don't think the snow is going to be bad in Kalamazoo in the morning, but I do think that it could make for some slick roads. So keep that in mind. I do think it could make for some slick roads. Lynn, thanks for the thanks. You stay safe there where you are because you've got so much there. So Hannah, I don't think it's going to be too bad in the morning, but I don't ever want to say that and then have folks, let their guard down when it comes to driving and this stuff tomorrow. I do think that there could be some slippery spots, and especially on the side roads, which a lot of those are still not only snow, but ice covered too. So keep that in mind. Sally, no, we don't have any chances for thunder snow coming up anytime soon. And Ron, thanks for the thanks. Jen, shovel your drive. All right, everybody, I'm going to get on out of here. I'm going to be live at 10 on ARC West Michigan. That's in 29 minutes. I got 9:31 right now. Diana, you're very welcome. Judy, Kalamazoo to Shipshewana tomorrow. You're going to be dealing with some snow, especially in the morning. If you can hold off until the afternoon, I don't think you'll be dealing with as much snow. There still could be some slick road spots. But if you're driving it in the morning, you're going to be dealing with some snow in addition to maybe some slippery spots. Is it going to be anything like what we've dealt with the last few days? No, I don't think so. In fact, it won't be. But you will be driving, I think, in some snow, and there could be some slippery spots. Keep that in mind. Hey, that's what that winter weather advisory is all about. It's just an advisory that, hey, there could be some impacts from our winter weather. So, Judy, have a good trip and enjoy yourself there in Shipshewana. Patricia, thanks for the thanks. And Michelle, thank you for the thanks. And also, Joe, I appreciate that very much. And Jeanette, good idea to have your headlights on and this kind of weather, to be sure. Randy, hello to you. All right, everybody, I'll be live at 10, live at 11. I covered that. Don't forget, I'm on Twitter, at Weatherman Keith. Instagram and Threads, same thing. The @ Weatherman Keith, all lowercase, all one word. You're watching me right now on the News Channel 3 YouTube channel and the News Channel 3 Facebook page. You can join my Facebook page, WWMT's Keith Thompson, and also I have a YouTube channel where I put forecasts up, and that is at Weatherman Keith. You can subscribe to that if you want. Diane, thanks for the thanks from Portage. All right, everybody, if I don't see you tonight, I'll catch up with you again tomorrow. Don't forget, my good buddy Jeff Porter's here bright and early in the morning, 4:30 to 9. Must-see TV. He's tracking that snow. He'll have visibility for you. They'll have road conditions as well. Our friends down in the news department there will also be letting you know what's going on with the latest in the news. So check them out, 4:30 to 9. Live updates again at noon, and then I'll pick you back up at 5:30, and 6 tomorrow. We made it to Friday. So by the time I'm talking to you tomorrow night on Facebook Live, YouTube Live at 9 o'clock, we're going to be doing our weekend happy dance. All right, everybody, stay safe tomorrow on the roads. Stay warm and get some good rest. Let's hit it hard. Let's end the week on a good note. Gary, good night to you. And Santa Schweitzer in the house. Good night to you as well.